Three, two, one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts, but today we are going to be going on about a choice that was brought to us by my fiance, Tammy. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about the film that you subjected us to this week? Well, technically, it was supposed to be last week, but you were down and out for the count. So tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the movie's Grease. You usually read the thing because I can't get on there
Yep.
and be on.
It is a film directed by Randal Kleiser, filmed in 1979, called Grease. Uh, it is a musical comedy. And IMDb says good girl Sandy Olsen and greaser Danny Zuko fell in love over the summer. When they unexpectedly discover they're now in the same high school, will they be able to rekindle their romance? So, um, first impressions. Did you want to
Well,
bring us into?
some of the actors are.
Well, some of the actors are John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John, Stockard Channing, among many others. Jeff Conway, Barry Pearl, Michael Tucci, Kelly Ward, Diddy Khan, Jamie Donnelly, Dinah Manoff, Eve Arden playing Principal McGee. Frankie Avalon shows up for even a smidgen of time. So, um, yeah, interesting cast. So, um, who wants to go first? Kroll, how about you? Was this a first time watch?
No.
And what was your impressions of the film this time around? Did it hold up?
Yeah. I mean, it's nostalgic piece. It's a fun movie. It's period that pretty much just it's like the '60s. Um, yeah, it's just it's a fun movie. It really is, and the music is fun. All the way through it, all the songs. And uh, I was gonna originally joke and say what music, but just can't do that. It's a musical. Um, so yeah. Um, but I've always I loved Olivia Newton John. I loved her music and her acting. Um, I remember "Hopelessly Devoted to You" was an album song, like the main song in the album, if I remember correctly. Um, so yeah, and John Travolta is great too, and it's probably one of the first movies I think I've seen him in. Um, he was super young there. I believe she's a little bit older than he is. I'm not sure. Um, but anyways, he's still around, and she's already passed, which is sad. Well, I mean, it's sad that she's passed. Not that John is still around.
It's
Um,
hard to believe that. I mean, it happened not too long ago, too. I think.
yeah, right before we did the movie. Um, so yeah, I was always a big fan of hers, and um, I
Yeah,
remember
she died August 8th, 2022, at the age of 73.
my father had a poster of her. Um,
Yeah, she battled cancer for many years, so I
yeah,
know that.
it's rough. But we'll always remember her as Sandy. At least I will. Um, yeah, and remember her voice. Gorgeous singer. Um, you know, so she definitely did all her own singing. It wasn't needing anybody else for that because she was a singer too. So yeah, so I actually saw this in like a it was a video game that I played called Second Life. It was like it's a virtual reality game, and I saw the play version of they did like a play version of Grease quite a few times. Um, at the time, it made me want to watch the movie again. I ended up not seeing the movie again at that time. But I mean, obviously they didn't do scene for scene, but they got all the important scenes in there, and it was pretty fun job they had done, um, especially for inside of a game. But yeah, they told the story pretty well, and they got most of the songs, so it was fun. So yeah, I love the movie, and that's my first impression.
Okay. How about you, Tammy? Was this a first time watch for you?
No, don't have any idea when I watched it the first time. I have totally forgotten when it was because I've watched it so many times that I don't remember what when it was the first time.
Did you see it in the theater?
No, because I would have only been 7 years old. So, um, I have a feeling that it's something that maybe I might have seen with Dad. You know,
Okay.
but anyways, yes, I have seen it tons and tons of times. It's on TV all the time, and it's one of those. Oh, there's nothing on TV. Oh well, Grease is on. Cool, I'll put that on. Type of thing. It's one of those movies. But so I enjoy it every time I watch it. I mean, I like the music. Um, I like the interaction. With all with every with all the actors. The storyline. You know, I don't know. I just think it. I think it is. I think it's a lot of fun. So is I don't get sick of it. It's one of those that it's on. Okay, I'll watch it. So everybody's, I'm sure, got a couple of movies that are like that you're flipping through the channels and oh yeah, okay, I'll put that on. And that's one of them for me.
Okay. Heading over to you, Boris. Was this a first time watch for you? Boris, are you there?
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. I can hear you
Yep.
now.
Okay. Much to my shame, this was the first time I watched this movie, and I say it's a shame because I know it's a classic. I know mostly everyone has seen it at least once, and this is my first time. But I have to say, while I do see some reasons why it's a classic, and I definitely do like Olivia Newton-John, but I have to say the the story of this movie is not quite my cup of tea, which doesn't mean the movie is bad. It's just a matter of my personal tastes. a story about some people having drama revolving around relationship and sex. That's just generally not something I would normally go for. So in terms of the storyline, I unpopular opinion, I know, but I much prefer Xanadu. Uh, no disrespect to anyone who likes this movie, of course. But yeah, I am aware of some of the qualities of this movie. But yeah, the storyline is not quite my cup of tea. But at least I have seen it once, and I can. I would no longer have to say I never watched it. So yeah, I guess that would be my first impressions. And like I said, please no disrespect and no hard feelings to you, Tammy, or to anyone who to whom this movie has a sentimental value.
Did you like anything about it, like the music or
Oh
the
yeah,
or
the
anything?
music was decent. Some of it sounded familiar. I probably heard some of it on the radio, and of course I do like Olivia Newton-John singing. I was wondering about the parts sung by John Travolta's character. Was it John Travolta singing, or
Yes,
did they?
it was John Travolta singing, which was pretty amazing. He could have hit some pretty high notes for especially him coming from a dancing background. Um, he he starred in some movies before this. I think one of them, Saturday Night Fever, and there's another one that he starred in, that he danced in, and so he did have a little bit a bit of a background for dancing. His singing voice, well, that's another story. But are you pretty much done with your first impressions then?
Ooh, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. He definitely brought uh, different personality to the role. Me, I'm not sure when I saw this movie the first time. I know it's not my first time. It's got to be at least my third to fourth time. It was not a movie that I ended up watching until I met Tammy. And uh, I watched it some years back, and so it wasn't one that I grew up with entirely. I'd seen bits and pieces of it. I sang John Travolta's part in Summer Lovin' before I even saw the movie. I and that band that sings in the background, what's that playing on the radio? Well, um, my aunt Judy wanted me to sing that song, and I had to rewatch the movie, and I almost did, but and I was gonna sing it at like an Italian community center, but I ended up being sick during the performance. So, um, but there were a lot of greaser type movies that came out around this time too, like The Outsiders and The Wanderers, and West Side Story is another one that came out. Whether it was before this or whatnot, but a lot of them tried to recapture the time period of the 50s, and that was the era of drive-in movie theaters, the birth of rock and roll, uh, the the teens in love, the bad boy versus the good girl type stories. I mean, there was always, huh?
And Cars?
And Cars, who had the best muscle in their cars, and who had the best who, and you know, these were, and the thing is, this movie also touches on, uh, you know, uh, dropout, being a high school dropout, or uh, thoughts of being pregnant. You know, uh, those are things that are part of this, not just sex. So, if you caught some of that with Rizzo um, and the beauty school dropout, so. Uh, but there are some very cool songs that came from this movie. So I commend it for being that. And there's to me, Summer Lovin', that's a very good duet. And I've heard it sung by many different people during
I've done
karaoke.
it on karaoke.
We both have
Yep.
together.
I've done it, and not with you guys.
Well, not with us, no, but uh, it's still a good song to sing, even for those who don't have voices. You know, um,
Was that a
yeah,
crowd?
you know. I mean, it's one of those ones you can have fun with, and I think anyone one listening to to each of these songs uh, can actually take it and sing it outside. I know my Aunt Judy, she was just recently in a contest, and she tried to sing one of the songs that Rizzo was singing later on in the movie. Um, uh, she didn't go on after that, but she tried, and I give her credit and kudos for doing that. But
Well, your mom said she sounded great. It was just that the audience did not connect with that particular song.
yeah,
It's not that she didn't sing it good. It's just the contest I think was basing a lot of things on the audience's reaction or whatever too. So it wasn't just the judges.
oh yeah.
So
Unfortunately, Gen Z doesn't really know a whole lot about films from this day. So I think that's why it kind of fell flat to an audience of that type, a modern audience, you know. But in any case, um, Tammy, why don't you take us into the plot then? I always found this movie um, enjoyable when I watched it. It's cool to hear John Travolta hit some of those notes, especially when you think they're tweaking his balls just for him to hit some of them. So you know, so Tammy. So how does this film begin?
well, at the beginning we see the Sandy, which is played by Olivia Newton John, and John Travolta's character. They're at the beach and they're having a great summertime, and then the summer is over, and so he thinks that she's going back to Australia because that's where she's from.
Well,
And
which is kind of funny. Olivia Newton-John is actually from Australia. She is an
right,
Australian actress in real life.
right. So Sandy ends up being a new student at um, the school and gets introduced to the Pink Ladies, I believe is what they call themselves.
And isn't it called Rydell High School?
Yep. And she's all telling them about her summer, and Danny's telling the boys, the T-Bones, all about his summer. And it comes out that um, Sandy comes out with who this boy is that she met over the summer, and Rizzo, one of the pink ladies, just she keeps that in her mind, and so the rest of them. And I mean, the beginning develops kind of quickly. They do that. She joins the cheerleader squad. You
They have a
know,
slumber party, which was definitely an
well,
80s thing.
well, they have the homecoming. They have the homecoming thing, and during all of this, um, Rizzo makes sure that she finds Danny again, and they get reintroduced, and of course now Danny's got to act like Mr. Cool in front of his buddies,
Yep.
which totally crushes Sandy. And yep, then we go to the slumber party, which I know I'm the only girl in this thing, but I don't know. I only had in high school, yeah, here and there I stayed by a girlfriend's house and stuff, but I wasn't really that much into that stuff because I wasn't really into girly stuff. Most of my friends were guys because most women, even at that age, annoyed me. So,
Which
I mean,
there's nothing wrong with that because a lot of girls act pretty uh, hoity-toity.
well, I never wore a lot of makeup, so I wasn't into sitting here going comparing. Well, look at this makeup that came out. Look at that makeup. I wasn't one that did my nails. I still don't do my nails. You
You
know,
didn't go over to another girl's house to have your toenails painted, or
no.
try on another girl's clothes because they look better than yours.
Well, the clothes we might have done a little bit with, but my two best friends, one was actually shorter than me. There were girls, and one was taller than me. And the one
So,
that was taller than me was a little bit rounder than me, and the one that was shorter than me, same thing. So, yeah, we didn't really exchange clothes that much because I was kind of in the middle of both of them, and I was skinnier than both of them. So, uh, but that doesn't mean we didn't have some fun and hang out a little bit. We had a couple times that we all got together,
you
but it
didn't
wasn't.
sleep over at each other's houses and sing girls just want to have fun and then have pillow fights.
No, every once in a while, all three of us were at Cheryl's. Otherwise, I went to Susan's house because she lived in the apartment building right next to mine. So I went over by hers a lot, but the three of us getting together didn't happen that much.
But did you ever hear about any other girls that had slumber parties?
Not really, because that was more of a preppy thing. The preppy
A
group,
preppy thing.
a preppy group.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes, that was more like the cheerleaders and the preppies and all that. They did all that cutesy stuff. And while I got along with them, I didn't really talk to them or hang out with them out of school.
ah,
My sister had slumber parties. Usually, her best friend and another friend, but she's 11 years younger than me.
Did your sister have parties, David?
she went to other parties. She was allowed to go to other parties. I was not.
You never had people over at the house?
Not really, but my mom also, um, oh, for many years, my mom would actually make these like doll cakes for my sister. Where My sister was definitely into Barbies. Were you?
Huh?
Were you into Barbies?
Well, I had a mixture of everything. I had Barbies, I had Legos, I had race cars, I had remote control cars.
I was just wondering because Barbies were a huge thing, especially like 50 years ago. You know, when Mattel first had them out.
I had lots of Legos. I had a lot of Legos, and I did have a good amount of Barbies. But then I had, like I said, remote control cars, a race car track. I had a little bit of everything.
But
So
yeah, some of those things were definitely things of the things of the 80s. Uh, Maybe a little bit into the early 90s. Uh, as far as slumber parties go and all that jazz. Well, there was a slumber party that happened in this movie where they actually uh, um, ended up singing a song and making fun of Sandy, right?
yeah, they made fun of Sandy.
Because she was a goody two shoes.
Well, compared to them, she was a goody two shoes. You know.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of funny because um, everybody everybody kind of thought that I was, but I wasn't a goody two shoes.
Ah,
That's how I got away with everything I got away with because everybody thought that I was innocent, and it's like, yeah, right. No, I'm not.
Not that innocent.
Oh no, no, no! I remember one time going to a party, and I had to be home at a certain time, and all of a sudden I had like less than 10 minutes to get home, and Lon is driving me home at like 50 miles an hour down. Luckily, where we were, we could take one road to take us all the way back to my house, and he was doing about 50. And I had a really good buzz on, and I had this thing an hour before I had to go home. I would stop drinking and I would drink Mountain Dew. Oh yeah, that's why when I would come to the door, I'd be buzzed off my butt, but I would be hyper too. And I remember that, and I got home and I'm like, my boss spirits are like, "You just made it." I said, "Yep." They're like, "So did you have a fun time?" "Yep." I'm like, "Just shut up and let me get in my room and leave me alone."
well, shortly after that slumber party, don't we have that coach trying to figure out what kind of sport John Travolta's character? Uh,
That's a little bit later on.
okay.
No, the next thing after the slumber party, we see all the guys trying to, because what's his name, gets that beat up car.
Oh yeah,
I,
that's when they do the
the
grease light song.
guy from the Scorpions.
Yeah, the
I
guy
th-
from the Scorpions.
Well, the Scorpions screws around with them up on that makeout area and
uh,
backs into that piece of crap that he had
Yep.
and says, "I'll give you, what was it, 50 cents for your car, including your chick." Yeah. And so that's when they go, you see I think she's the lady is she's the coach or automotive or whatever area, That's
Yeah.
when they go and they put together the car, and it's funny because they're like, how many of these parts are hot, and they're teasing each other and everything, and then they go into the whole grease lightning thing.
Grease lightning. Go grease lightning. Go grease lightning.
I wish the car would have turned out how they were imagining it was going to turn out in the
Yeah.
song. That's not what it looks like when they get done with it. It looks cool, but I like the one in their imagination better.
I agree.
But
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they were dreaming big.
yeah, what's his name? Wasn't it Kaniki? Is right? That's what they call him, Kaniki.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, one guy from Danny's group.
So we have that whole scene, and then Danny, well, before that, they're all at that malt shop or whatever,
Yeah.
because Frenchie decided that she was going to drop out and go to beauty school,
Yep.
and they're all there, and they have their little powwow and everything, and everybody leaves poor Frenchie, and you find out that she had quite a lot of problems in tinting because her hair looks like an Easter egg, as they say, and that's where we get the Frankie Avalon doing the beauty school dropout.
Yep.
So
And
what do you guys
Frankie
think?
Avalon was still good looking at this time for being definitely older than that which he was in the the Beach Ball series of films that he was with Annette Funicello. You know, definitely a far cry for what when he was on the Disney Mouse Club with Annette. you know.
So what do you guys think so far with all the different topics and everything going on? And the different songs.
Uh, uh, yeah, I must admit, when they threw all those characters in, I felt it was kind of deterring the story from the main characters, but okay, maybe that's just me.
Well, they had a lot of different stuff going on. You had them rebuilding the car. They had the Frenchie. They had and all that stuff. So I mean, I guess to me it kept it interesting because you got to see all different things that were going on in their lives. You know, it wasn't just sitting here looking at Sandy and Danny. It was seeing what was going on in everybody's life at the time, and it was,
I mean, showing what the high school president stuff was about. I thought it was kind of interesting that it was basically run by two females.
Yeah.
Which is I'm not. Growing up, all of my principals were not female.
I didn't have
Most of
female
them were male.
principals too.
Huh?
My principal was male or males too.
So
Same
Uh,
here.
I'm
yeah,
not I'm not used to seeing a female with another female running a high school, and this was supposedly in the 50s. So
I-
Yeah, which was definitely even odder.
in my case, my high school principal was female, but very old, near retirement, so not hot.
whoa, I don't think this lady was hot. Neither.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, the radio announcer later for the bandstand kind of flirted with her a bit, but even so, she was not good looking. But
Yeah, what's still
I thought
better
that
than
her other
the.
cohort with the xylophone or whatnot that she kept dinging on to do the
Oh yeah,
school.
we forgot to mention at the beginning when we were saying about actors and stuff. The group at the bandstand is actually really Sha-na-na. That is them.
Oh.
So
Yep, Sha Na Na was a great cover band. I would have to say. I know they did stuff of their own, but they did a lot of covers too. You know,
right,
and I
but
believe that they had a show at one point in time as well. The
yes,
Sha
they
Na Na
did.
show.
Yes, they did. My mom watched it, so that's how I actually knew the first time I watched this. I realized it was actually them. So, but anyways, so um, up at the about this time, Danny and Sandy decide that Danny decides he's going to win Sandy back from the jock that she's been hanging out with, and
Yeah,
he
she's been hanging
decides
out
he's.
with the lead football dude. I think.
And I think this is all. This is funny because he goes to talk to the coach, and first thing he says, well, we need to cut down to one pack of cigarettes a day. Then he tells him he has to change, and he goes, well, that's what I'm here for. And he's like, no, you gotta go change your clothes. And then everything that he gives him to do or try, he has to do this little strut before he does it.
Yeah.
It's like when he goes to do the wrestling, he shows him the guy, and he looks at him, he goes, "Are you kidding?" You know. I mean, everything that he gives him to do, where he has to interact with somebody, just doesn't work out. He punches the guys in the gut trying to take the basketball. He snaps the face mask on the ump for baseball. You know, so and in order to
Yeah,
get away from the wrestling dude, he ends up hitting him too. You know.
there were
Yeah.
some small pull downs going on there.
Yes. So finally, the coach is like, "Well, we need to give you something where there's no interaction." And that's finally gets him to track long distance running. So we see him doing his running, practicing, and then he sees Sandy and her jock
And he
sitting there
trips.
watching him, and he wipes out. And then here comes Sandy to his rescue, and well, that was it. Then he decides to ask her to the dance, and they're back together.
Yep. But and there's a big but when it comes to that dance. There is a lady of question from a different high school that ends up um shall I say taking advantage of the dance floor.
Yeah, her name was Cha Cha something, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She had help
and
too.
he's being real mysterious to Sandy about how he met her because I think they've gone together before.
But they
Um,
didn't go together, they only went together.
well, him and
Remember?
Sandy went there together, but They
No,
went
no,
out.
no. He was telling Sandy that they did that him and Cha Cha didn't go together. They only went together. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't go together. We just went together. But yes, he ends up making a fool, well, basically a fool out of himself. But yes, she leaves. She leaves the dance. Oh, and we cannot forget the Is that a moon?
Oh, yeah. There's a couple of boys who end up mooning the bandstand dude on stage, and the
Yep.
bandstand dude, he's uh, he's uh, he's definitely flirting with an underage girl throughout the
Yes.
entire thing.
No, Marty Maraschino, like the cherry,
Yeah.
as she says it. But
So.
yep. And they were on TV mooning in Blue Moon during the song Blue Moon.
Which the principal's reaction to that was priceless.
Oh yeah, she made them all think that they were gonna be found out.
Of course, some of the ladies at the shop were going like, I did not realize that they looked so cute like that, or something like that. Uh, the- uh, 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 it was kind of comical there.
Anybody got anything to throw in up to now?
uh, Not sure. Actually, it was last Sunday I watched this movie since I didn't know the discussion would be postponed. So by now I probably don't. There are probably some details that I forgot over the week.
Oh, that's okay. So, yep. Now I guess we go to the drive-in, and um, because she's giving him another chance, and I think it's funny he's trying to get his ring off to give her, and ends up elbowing her right in her chest.
Yeah, I think he does it twice, and then he finally gets his ring on her, and she's all simpering because of the ring. But then he messes up.
Well, yes, because she thinks the ring means how much he cares about her and respects her and all that stuff, and she's saying all that, and you can just see the look on his face going, "Oh, great! I ain't gonna get anywhere with this chick now," you know.
Yeah,
But that doesn't mean he doesn't try.
Was that when he tried to have sex with her in the car and she got pissy?
Oh yes,
yep,
and then that's when we have the song, because what do you say? You can't walk out on the drive-in, and then he goes into his song. Stranded
yeah.
on an island. So
Which is an interesting song. And then isn't the next part where they actually get ready for the race?
yes, I believe so. The car is all done up, and
And wasn't it Kaneki or Kanaki that gets knocked out?
oh yeah, wait. Before that though, Rizzo thinks she might be pregnant, and how fast that went right through the whole drive-in.
Oh yeah, she was trying to tell her friend, "Don't tell no one." And what does she immediately do? She tells everyone, and
Oh yeah.
and it's word of mouth. see how fast the gossip can travel. Well, that's how gossip traveled.
It's
People can't.
amazing how fast good news travels.
Yeah, faster than she can close her legs.
Yep, and then she makes Kaneki feel like crap because she tries to tell him that don't worry about it. It wasn't your mistake, you know. So that just like you know.
Yeah, and she ends up going with someone else to try to make him Kaneki jealous.
So,
Uh,
but
and
the week after that is when they're gonna do the race and yeah. Um, I always forget her name. I always think I always remember her as doing that little matcha 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 at the at the slumber party. You through that commercial, but I always forget her name. But yeah, she goes to give Kaniki see a see a penny, pick it up all day long. You'll have good luck. She goes to give it to him and drops it, and he goes to pick it up and he gets hit with the door of the car.
That felt like that was staged. Like he didn't want to really race.
Well, he had Danny as a backup, so
Right, because that's why he planned. It seemed like he planned that because he didn't really want to race, but he knew Danny could beat him.
I feel like it was a little staged myself, but it worked out in the end because when they came back the other way, he was able to get him stuck on that slick of water, um, and even though the car was kind of driving in, he won. And they were run, and the thing is, they were racing for pink slips, which means they were racing for the title and ownerships of the cars. So
and the thing is, where they were racing, we have areas like that here, and back back in the day, they had a watch for people not to go down there and race because the tunnels when they went up on the side and they actually went over the tunnel, but people would race and forget about that tunnel and end up crashing when they went up on the side. So for a while that was a problem for and that's for real. So I don't know if people saw this movie and that's when they started racing in those areas or something, but yeah, it became a thing for a while.
yep. I mean, even the fight in West Side Story was underneath like a bridge, in a caged area. So oftentimes when you saw a fight between another gang member, it was often in some out of the way area. Although a rumble did not happen in this movie, um, it was still something that was in the background because the T-Bones were a gang, basically. Um, and so were the Scorpions in here. So they did have that gang background. Greasers. So
Yeah, they were. They were. They weren't. They weren't. They weren't as uh
hyped on the criminal aspect,
right. They
but
were
they had the leather jackets with their gang member names,
right.
just like
They
the
were more like a group back then because it wasn't. They didn't do stuff like what we consider what gangs do. You know, they were more or less a group, and
like a
this
club.
group, this club didn't like that club type of thing, and but But anyways, so well, Danny wins the race. Sandy decides that she wants Frenchie's help for her to change.
Oh, she looks badass as a bad girl too. I mean, um, because she comes back and does that whole "you're the one
Oh,
that I want."
Oh yeah, when she was dressed as a biker chick at the end, that was really good. I did like that.
Oh yeah, that ending was the whole big thing. You know, with the Danny had the Letterman's jacket on, and she turns into the biker chick, and they do their whole.
Yeah, that was good.
she's super hot in that scene. Absolutely love
Yeah.
it.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I always thought she's gorgeous like throughout the whole movie with the good girl act and everything. But when she went the bad girl, I was like, wow.
Of course, that's always the best.
And I do think that it's one of the better songs. I think in in the movie. Besides, I mean there are some songs that are more pronounceable and memorable, like "Summer Lovin'," "You're the One That I Want." You mentioned one earlier, Kroll, that you think
Hopelessly
that,
devoted to you.
yep, hopelessly devoted to.
Beauty school dropout.
Um, uh,
Grease
Rizzo's
lightning.
Grease. I was going to say Grease Lightning.
Grease Lightning is another one that people seem to remember. In fact, I remember playing a basketball game called Grease Lightning at one point in time, where you spelled Grease Lightning out in different areas of the court. I don't know if any of you guys did, but if you, it,
Hmm.
it, but I did that when I was a kid. So, um, but I never exactly connected it to this movie until now.
Interesting.
So, other
And
than
one of the
that,
best parts of the ending is the the car. The car. It looks cool out. So,
yeah,
but
because don't they kind of like act like they get married or some shit like that with the cans at the end?
no, they're just it's the ending. They're saying that they're gonna still hang out. They're not gonna because school's over. They're not. It's just a whole big party. And drive away in the cool car.
Okay. And then didn't they say exactly what happened to some of the others, like in the end credits?
No,
Okay, so they didn't. And we also find out that Rizzo is not pregnant.
Yeah, actually, isn't that revealed at some point during the movie already?
Yeah, she actually finds out that it was just
yes, she yells it from the Ferris wheel. Said it was a
yeah,
false alarm.
yeah. So
So
um,
everybody's up at the end. Everybody's in their little couples and dancing and singing and having a great time.
yep. So that is pretty much the end of the movie. So why don't we go into production?
You want me to go first?
Sure.
I think the production was good. I think they did good on the time set, the costumes, the music, the background. I mean, I think it was all very believable for that time. You know, and I think it was pretty true to probably a lot of things that were going on at the time for high schoolers. So I think they got it. I think they got it pretty good.
Okay. And all the music was done by Jim Jacobs and Warren Casey. Uh, all original music. Looks like they also did the music for the Grease 2, as well as the the live adaptation of Grease, and they also did the stuff for the TV series that they came out with called Grease: Rise of the Pink Ladies, which was just recent.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they did a
I
TV series in 2023.
I
On
didn't know there was so much of a franchise based around this movie.
Yeah, there was. It was a big thing in the 70s and 80s, you know. So
So what does everybody else think about production?
I think it was decent according to what they needed to do. I mean, the story being the way it is, it didn't really require any CGI or anything like that. It was okay. The costumes were good. I guess it is more or less what people were wearing in that time period, right?
yep,
Yeah, so makes enough sense. I cannot really complain about anything when it comes to production.
okay. What about you, girl?
Crow,
You're on mute.
I know I'm on mute. I muted myself.
Ah,
I don't want to make background noise.
and
Like Sun Squabs. Yeah.
wait, was I producing some background noise in this video, in this
the only
discussion?
the
Just
only
your almost snoring breathing this time was the only background this time, but yeah.
Uh, well, I'm sorry, that's my breathing. I cannot really avoid that. I'm just
Hold
wondering
your
how
breath.
it.
But anyways, yeah, the production was great. I mean, it was fun. Yeah, you obviously didn't need. I mean, they didn't have CGI in the '80s really that much to it. I mean, they had some to a degree, obviously, like Star Wars and stuff. But yeah, it definitely nothing was really needed for Grease. But they did have some awesome cars, and they had some fun scenes. A lot of good choreography went into the movie with all the dancing. All through it, as well as all the singing. So I mean, there was a lot put into it, a lot of big production that goes into a movie like this. A lot more than that other movie that you love that has this also awesome storyline. But we won't talk about that movie ever again.
Which which movie?
uh,
What?
Which movie
which
you're talking
movie?
about?
Xanadu.
Oh, okay.
uh, well, what's your problem with Xanadu?
It's not Grace.
Okay.
It's not
Well,
even in the same ballpark, not the same game, like John Travolta said in Pulp Fiction.
well,
Actually, I'm
I
sorry.
actually,
I'm sorry. It was Samuel L. Jackson that said it to John Travolta.
I actually like the music from Xanadu quite a bit. I have 5 of those
Yes, we had
songs
this.
on my playlist.
Yeah, we had this discussion, but the music here completely blows away Xanadu. The story blows it away. Everything about this movie is so much better, in my opinion. So.
Uh, wait, you are saying even the storyline of this movie is better than Xanadu.
Yeah.
Uh,
Not like
oh,
it's not like it's super unique, like it's never been done before.
Well,
uh, wait,
don't
sorry, what
think
was not done
the,
before?
don't think the Muse thing has been done. It had been
Yes, it
done
has.
before Xanadu.
Well, to me personally, some supernatural fantasy romance story is always interesting than some mundane this universe romance story.
Mhm. Well, in any case,
Yes, David,
is
what did
that
you think
pretty
about the
much
production?
me? I thought the production of Grease was pretty darn cool. Um, I like I like the costumes. They were definitely of or at least paralleling the 50s type dress. Um, I mean, you had the uh, cheerleaders versus the jocks versus the red leather jacket wearers versus the greasers with the leather jackets. And it wasn't. I mean, this was more with cars than it was with motorcycles. But I think uh, Travolta had a motorcycle in here at one point in time, didn't he?
Not in this one.
Mm,
Not in this one.
No.
Okay, so it was more, about the car a little bit, especially with the racing, um, the always having to have the better things and whatnot. But I like the different areas. I mean, it was uh, it was definitely a showmanship of the time, you know. And I think for having the voice of John Travolta being able to sing like that, he wasn't bad. I mean, he could have been worse. I mean, there are people that they put into movies just because of their names, and they don't sing it all like they're supposed to. Um, like Russell Crowe. In Les Miserables. He was very good for the part, the image of uh, uh, the guy he was playing, but he definitely could not sing, and uh, you could tell he couldn't, and uh, it was like that for some movies, but other than that. This movie I thought was done pretty well. So, um, anyone else have anything else to add about the production?
uh, well, I already said that, but I really liked Olivia Newton-John's outfit in the last scene.
I think we
Uh,
all did, at least as males.
yeah.
Even though I'm a girl, I liked her outfit too.
Nice.
Alrighty, so uh, uh, I know we touched a lot on the music already. Did we need to touch anything more on that? I don't think so.
No, I
Uh,
don't think so. So I guess we can go to favorite characters, favorite scenes. Crow, why don't you start us out on that?
Crawl. Troll, you are muted.
I
Squawk.
know I'm muted. What's up?
Favorite scene
Favorite
and or
character,
favorite
favorite
characters.
scene.
Favorite scene, but what?
Favorite character and or favorite scene.
Well, obviously, Sandy and John Travolta's character. My brain just farted. And the end
Uh,
scene. The singing in the day. I mean, her showing up there, in the black leather and everything, and the way she looked and hairstyle and everything. Then the singing in there um, I mean the song was my favorite song, but the scene was definitely one of my favorite scenes. As far as songs go, I'd have to go with "Hopelessly Devoted to You" and then "Summer Lovin's" close second. Not that all most of the songs in there were great songs, but yeah, those are the two in that order. My favorites. I just wanted to mention that because it is a musical. So yeah, Danny is his name.
yes.
So Sandy and Danny, the main characters are definitely my favorites in this movie. That's it. I'm done.
Alrighty. How about you, Tammy?
Let's see. Of course, I like Sandy and Danny, and um, favorite. I guess one of my favorite scenes is the whole grease lightning thing. Of course, when they do the sing the song and do the whole big thing. Um, so I guess grease lightning would be one of my favorite songs, and summer lovin'. Um, it's hard to pick like just one scene, but I guess you know, and I do like the ending because I like the whole big thing that comes together and everything, and usually the the whole big dance, and you see the change in Sandy and in Danny and everything. I think the ending is really cool.
Okay. What about you, Boris?
My favorite character would also be Sandy. I actually have to say I'm not that much of a fan of Danny, and that's not an issue with John Travolta as an actor. He did his job perfectly well. My issue is with real life people like Danny, like this whole concept of he was. Acted like an asshole in front of Sandy only because he didn't want to risk his friends making fun of him. That got me like, fuck having friends in front of whom you cannot be true to yourself. Uh, so like if you have friends who would make fun of you if you are acting true to yourself, that's it's better to be alone than to have friends like that, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I mean, like if they're your true friends, then you should be able to be you yourself.
Sorry, Tammy, I had a glitch. What did you say?
If they're really your friends, you should be able to be yourself.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, but it's never like that. Especially not in high school.
Yeah, there are always going to be cliques that are in high schools, whether you're a jock or you're a nerd even in my
Or
high
you
school.
or you could just freak everybody out like I did. One day I'd be dressed all stoner with my jeans and my rock t-shirts and everything on, and I have my leather jacket on, and the next day I'd be dressed all preppy. and I and I'd love it when I'd be dressed all stoner and I'd go up to some of the jocks that I know, and I go, "It's a hug a jock day," and I give them a big hug, and I'm all dressed like a
It was
stoner.
probably a lot more easier for you to do that in your time period than it was in some of our
No,
periods.
just because she's a girl.
Yep, girls can
I
get away
just
with shit.
I loved freaking everybody out. That was the point. I got along with every group that there was. I got along with, and I just
Must be
I loved
nice.
I loved freaking everybody out. Nobody ever knew what to think of me. I go to a party and they didn't know, is she cool? Is she not? Or I loved it. I just thought it was great. Nobody ever knew what to think of me, and I thought that was just great.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
And my favorite scene was the final one with Sandy as a biker chick.
Uh, okay. Well, my two favorite people in here were Sandy and Danny. Um, Danny, I don't know why, but because I have seen Travolta in other movies, uh, this was a movie where it's like the strut was something of a thing, and I feel like the Fonz did the strut better, but and that was a TV series that was way before this movie came out. So
Happy Days.
yeah, Happy Days, where Henry Winkler played the Fonz. He was the first greaser to streak the television spots.
Fonzie was definitely cooler than Danny.
Yes, he was definitely cooler than that, but
Who?
he did the strut better, I think. John Travolta, on the other hand, did a strut, and I think that's why I kind of enjoy like some of his sports sceneries because he had to do that strut every single fucking time. I enjoyed the part where the boys mooned the bandstand dude during Blue Moon.
That's no moon.
Yes, David. Of
Yeah.
course, you would like the mooning part. That
Yeah, he likes to see the guy's asses.
I didn't I didn't want to see them, but I enjoyed that they pranked the band.
You,
Yep. Yep.
you didn't enjoy it to see them, but you do enjoy showing your own.
Well, it's
that he
not my
does.
fault that you guys have to stare at it when I get up. So
We have no choice. It takes up the whole screen.
you had a choice.
Hey, at least you guys don't have to live with it.
We don't start mooning in the morning. All of a sudden it's, oh, God. Well, I feel sorry for you, Tammy, but that's your deal.
The poor cats are going blind.
Ouch!
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can't go to the bathroom without the eagle following me to the sink. So, but in any case,
Because he's
and
blind, don't know where you're going.
I do enjoy that final scenery. I mean, she does fill out that blouse rather well. So, even though she's definitely a teeny tiny in the waist, you know, she is a very pretty woman in reality at this point in time in her life. So,
Yeah.
and I did like her performance in Xanadu. I do have to say that, even though I know some of us did not, I didn't mind it. So, that being said, does anyone else have anything else to say about the movie?
If I had to say which guy I thought was the cuter one, I liked Tanuki.
Ah, okay.
Hoot.
Well, that being said, hopefully you have enjoyed our discussion. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll definitely be back next week. Let us know down in the comments what you thought of the discussion, what you thought of the movie, whether you've seen the movie or not. Let us know, and whether we got any of it wrong. That being said, everyone, say good
Well,
night.
next week is you, isn't it?
Yep, and I'm still trying to figure out what I want.
No, next week is me.
Huh?
Next week is
Uh,
me.
Oh yeah, next week is you.
wait,
This week was supposed to be me, but yours got pushed to mine.
uh, wait, uh, 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 wait, wasn't it wasn't your okay, wait, maybe I got mixed up. Yours was the Flash. Then what did we have after that?
We had Tammy's. Yours was the Flash, which was before Tammy, and then before the Flash was you, or Boris. So technically, it should be me next,
Uh,
I think so.
because we just had you doing the Flash.
and we just had
Uh,
you do your movie that you did.
we didn't do any movie of mine anytime in between this, so um, so let's do me, then we'll do you, Kroll. But we got to decide whether we're going to go on or wait for. I think we're just going to wait for. Um, I think I'm going to do the Cricket and Antoinette movie finally. Um,
The what?
it's a Croatian animation called
Oh.
Cricket and Antoinette. One of the reasons why I want to do it is because it is from Croatia. So, that is the movie that I'm.
Yay! Happy birthday to me! Yay!
But oh, what you have a birthday coming up?
Thursday.
Your birthday is Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, happy early birthday.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I have to go. Something is I have to help my mother and grandmother with something. There is kind of an emergency going on, and they need me, so I have to leave now. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Okay,
not a
catch you
problem.
next time.
See you later.
Okay, see you later.
See you later.
Bye.
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 Uh.
Yeah, his before you came up. So everyone say good night.
Good night.
Good day.